Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bailey.
And I'm Raquel.
And this is the Whole Shebang Podcast.
All right. Hello, guys, and welcome back. This is episode 26 of the Whole Shebang Podcast and our wrap-up episode of this year.
Which we do not have a clever name for yet.
We don't, but fanfare, as we have made it a whole year into our podcasting.
Somehow,
some way, we have gotten here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We've made it. And hello to everyone listening, wherever you are in the world. We have many countries that have listened at least once in our podcasting journey, and it has surprised us. This whole thing has surprised us.
David, we have a section for things that surprised you.
We'll get into that.
I think that would be a fantastic stat to share.
Should we have a counter? Like an eye roll counter?
Eye roll counter.
Who's rolled their eyes at each other more?
I think I'm probably winning.
I think so.
Oops.
And yeah, sorry guys, it might be a little choppy if my video decides to cut out. It's not liking me today, so
Our
last episode of the year. All right, so did you want to get onto these questions? Should I get onto these questions?
Before the questions, I figured we would go through each episode, just talk about what it was, and give any updates if there's any updates to share.
Cool. Yeah, let's do that. You have the
Yeah, I've got the list. If you're wondering when you're watching this and we keep looking down, it's because we're reading off of our phones like really cool, classy ladies do. Yeah, well, our first thing we did was the trailer.
Yes.
Which was fine. I think we should make a year 2 trailer.
Oh, I definitely think we should make a year 2 trailer, and then we should add like some dramatic music to it.
Should we change our theme music and get it slowly sound darker every year?
Yes. Can we do it on GarageBand?
Probably.
When you come over, let's do it on GarageBand.
We'll do that.
Look forward to our new intro music.
As it gets slightly more ominous every year.
Darker content.
Adult content.
Fuck no, not you.
Oh, yeah. Our first episode is called Hello, We're Foreigners, Adventures in the UK.
Yes, and that episode is all about Ricky and I's trip to the UK, where we traveled for the first time.
Together, alone.
Together, alone, and nothing nefarious happened, except we got chased by fairies.
Yeah, we almost got whisked away and had a spirited away moment. Episode 2 was story time. Bailey gets confused.
So basically, I get stoned, and I also talk about my first Brazilian wax, which was amazing.
Do you read labels now, Bailey?
Still don't read labels.
Still don't read labels. Okay, we did not learn our lessons. That's what we learned here. Episode 3 was our friendship adventures.
That one, I believe, was just stuff that we've done together.
Yes, we shared all the times you tried to commit murder of me.
The best friendships are built on murder.
Episode 4 was our ancient apocalypse archaeology talk.
Yes, and that is your field, in which we talked about the discrepancies in ancient apocalypse.
And that episode is very breathy, and I do apologize for that.
We've gradually upgraded. We're upgrading slowly still.
I think, I don't want to say bad things about our podcast, because obviously it's something I'm very proud of, but that episode is the worst for me to go back and listen to, even though it was one of the more fun ones to record.
It was. And I will say, in editing the podcast before we got our current editing software, the amount of times I would have to listen to the episodes and your breath, I wanted to smack you from here.
Oh, was that awful?
I know. And we also had to start counting how many times I said like in a video, because I realized after the first couple of times of recording, I said it a lot.
Yes, you said it a lot. You said like a lot. This is our journey of learning how to speak in public. Episode 5 was Fandom Time Has Been Hotel.
where we talked about season 1 of Has Been Hotel.
Yeah, I think I didn't actually write this down as something I want to do in the future, but whenever season 3 comes out, I want us to go through that episode and our season 2 episode, find all of our predictions, and then talk about how either totally wrong we were or how we were clearly on the right track, or maybe it still hasn't happened.
I think that would be fun. What do you guys think?
I think it would be a lot of fun. Episode 6 is Dogs, Dogs, and More Dogs.
Where I talk about dogs and more dogs, as I am a dog groomer and I deal with them every day and I have them. So it's 100% of my life.
You are dogs. Episode 7, we introduced Judy for the first time, and that was Paranormal Activities.
Yes, where we talk about paranormal experiences that we may have had or not have had, and things that we may or may not believe.
And we talked about the afterlife, and I think we kind of went on a tangent about dragons at one point.
We got philosophical in that one because I think I started talking about quantum theory.
Yeah, we did. That was great. Episode 8 was tattoos.
Tattoos, which I have a lot of. And I have started getting a leg sleeve.
Yeah, that was mostly my, we should do updates on all the episodes one, because we have definitely gotten more tattoos since.
We have.
Because I have now 2 on my leg, and I got my ear tattooed since then.
And I can't remember if I had my arm tattoo fully colored, if I was still working on it.
I think you were still working on it, because we recorded that in January. That's been almost a year ago.
So there would have been not a lot of color, and we added a couple new pieces, and I started a new one on my leg.
And I'm starting a new one in a couple months. So yeah, we all have more tattoos. I think even Judy's gotten a new tattoo since then.
Yeah.
Episode 9 is Pet Stories.
Which we just talk about pet stories. Nice.
That was supposed to be our silly debate episode, but we were not prepared. And then I destroyed you in, 5 seconds? 5 minutes?
I'm not good in an argument.
No. You're like, well, everything you said makes sense, but dogs are better than cats because I like them.
It's true. That's how I argue. I can see both sides.
It's funny. Episode 10 is The Owl House.
One of my favorite fandoms.
Yeah. Episode 11, Travel Stories. That was a trip to Vancouver, our camping trip. I think that was it. Oh, and we talked about future travel plans, which have totally changed since January.
Oh, it has. I still want to go to Greece. Greece is still on the list, but now it's a little lower.
Yeah, we were going to do Iceland this year, but we're pushing it to next year because the money.
Money.
And we were at that point going to go to New Orleans still, and we have pushed that until something happens with Donald Trump and we are safer to go there.
So let's say 3 more years?
In theory.
In theory.
You might want to give them another year to sort themselves out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still looking forward to the food.
Yeah. And I won't lie, Has Been Hotel has made me want to go there more.
Yeah.
I've also started rewatching Princess and the Frog because they happen at the same time period as Alistair's backstory. Episode 12 was the Anunnaki affair between myth and reality.
Where that was the Ancient Aliens episode that we watched.
Yes. And I've been very nerdy.
Yes. Which it's very fun if you like archaeological things to go back and listen to those episodes because you are an archaeologist and you deep dive.
And I get paid for that, so listen to it for free. Episode 13 was our second Ancient Aliens one, which is debunking myths, the realities behind ancient aliens, which was pretty much the same thing, but we watched another episode of it and compared. We learned a lot about conspiracy theories that week.
I love conspiracy theories.
Episode 14 was Decoding Dreams, our journey with dream journals and tarot.
Where we found out that your tarot deck still hates you and think our friendship is going to die.
I actually went back and I didn't watch it, but I read the transcript for it today and I pulled out what our predictions were for the tarot readings, and I'll share those after. Episode 15 was our next fandom episode, which was Apothecary Diaries. And that also featured Judy. Episode 16 was Nose Ticklers.
Where I sniffed so many things.
That one definitely works better as a video than an audio thing, I think.
Yeah, it does. If you haven't watched Nose Ticklers, go watch it. It was fun to do. I enjoyed that one.
It was good, yeah. This is the one where I have a comment on, but episode 17 was Love, Labels, and Laughs, a coming out story.
I'm gay.
A couple weeks ago, Bailey finally gave me access to all of our files. And she commented before we started recording that I went through and edited the names of all of them and fixed things. But this one killed me when I saw it because it was just titled EP17 Gay. And when I saw that, I was like, I kind of want to leave it because I know exactly what episode this is. I'm like every other episode's title, but it's like, this is hilarious.
I like things very straightforward so I can find them.
I couldn't find anything because nothing was labeled. Except for that one, which was EP17 Gay.
It was an important episode to me.
If there was any doubt what episode it was. So I have it in my list of episodes, the full title, and then in brackets, or gay. That's a little inside humor for you all. When I saw that, I nearly texted you, and they're like, no, I'm going to save it for this podcast. When I can be like, what were you thinking?
I was thinking,
At least,
gay one.
at least you gave both a number of that episode and a title for that episode. There was one episode that was just a bunch of random numbers.
Which one was that?
I think that was like episode 14 or something, and I was like, what episode is this? And I had to go through them all to find out what the title was, which also involved having to go into the YouTube because the title changes. Episode 18 is When Quizzes Get Personal, Friendship, and Funny Stories.
I like that.
That one. Episode 19, Let's Talk Plants.
Wish I did not kill a lot of my plants.
Surprisingly. Episode 20 was our Fan Expo 2025 episode.
Where we talk about Fan Expo 2025.
And how Alex Brightman is the kindest human being I have ever met.
Yeah.
He was super nice. If you get a chance to meet him, go meet him. Episode 21, Superstitions. We started talking about cats and broken mirrors and turned into a Santa Claus conversation. Episode 22 is Halloween, eh?
I thought it was catchy.
I do not get a say in these titles. I don't see them until they're posted. And sometimes I just, why?
Hey,
And that was one of them where I was just, why?
I was proud when I came up with that title because it was Canadian.
This is almost as bad as the post you made for your grooming studio with all the puns in it that I had to resist not commenting on Facebook.
I like puns. Other people like puns.
It was every word was a pun.
Makes it funny.
Oh, it was too much. Your dad level of humor. Episode 23 is the Whole Shebang Book Talk.
Where we talk about books that we are going to read.
Definitely going to read soon. We have to do it soon.
Yes. So tune back in for season 2 of the Whole Shebang where we do that.
We are supposed to do that as the first episode, FYI, but I think we're going to be changing that around.
Look forward to it sometime in season 2.
Maybe in like a February episode or March. We haven't planned it all out yet, but originally it was supposed to be kind of our like intro episode, and that is definitely not happening. Episode 24 is the Hasman Hotel Thoughts and Theories. That's season 2 Hasman Hotel. And then our last episode came out, for us it was Monday, for you it'll be 2 weeks. So episode 25, Animated Adventures, Beloved Films That Shaped Us. And that one also features Judy.
Yes.
So yeah, that is our episodes.
Yeah, I can't believe we're on episode 26 and the year is ending.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It really
Okay.
went by fast.
Here's our predictions for our tarot read, okay? So Bailey asked, are Ricky and I going to be friends forever? The tarot says, and I just pulled out the future and the advice. You got justice for the future card, which means needs to resist imposing your justice on a situation. And the advice was to seek new experiences. And then I asked the same question, and the tarot says, individual joy and life for my future. And the advice was awareness of cycles to make changes. And we concluded that meant we were getting a divorce. Have we gotten a divorce?
No, we're
Not yet.
we're still together.
Sorry, tarot, you predicted wrong.
Yeah, didn't it? So on Halloween, we were together because I ended up flying to Toronto with my girlfriend.
I think we did.
And didn't it give us the same answer, like death and brimstone?
It wasn't quite the same answer. It was more hostile, where it was like, you both hate each other.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we should ask your tarot cards frequently if we're still not going to be friends.
I think we should ask more specific questions to do with the year. Maybe that could be our first episode of next year, is like, how's the podcast going to go this year? Or like, what's my year going to be like?
I like the idea. I'll grab my tarot cards too from home so we could do like a double tarot reading.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, should we move into my various questions?
Yes.
So, what surprised you the most about doing the podcast in general?
I think that we have people listening to us that we don't know.
Yeah, that's very surprising.
That surprised me a lot. I did not think, obviously, we're trying to improve the podcast and improve our episodes and everything like that. And I really didn't think we'd get as many people listening as we have. Like, I thought it was going to be a small little thing, kind of like a first foray. But we do have quite a few people that listen to us that we don't know.
And we don't check the stats often, so when we do, it's kind of a big surprise.
Yeah, because in the beginning, I remember I was checking the stats a lot because I was like, oh, are people going to listen to us?
And they were.
And they weren't. It was a trickle here or there, but you guys have done a great job of listening. Thank you for joining us for this year. Was that your biggest surprise or was that?
Oh, no, I have others. I have 3. Because I actually wrote out responses to these questions in advance, unlike somebody.
I didn't for this one.
I sent them to you on Wednesday because I knew if I sent them earlier, you were going to forget and not do it. But if I sent it too late, you wouldn't have time and not do it. So I thought Wednesday would have enough time where you'd actually do it, and then you didn't.
But okay, believe me, when I thought about it, I thought about writing the answers to the questions. I'm like, I should write the answers to the questions.
So my first point that surprised me was how much work it actually is. Which is like, it's not a problem, but it's like even the fun part, which is right now us talking, it's a lot of work. And we talk anyways, but trying to keep us focused on the topic is hard.
As you could probably tell from our episodes.
But also, it's like the prep work that goes in. So I wrote these questions for this episode 3 months ago. We did not have the time to sit and like pre-plan what we were going to say. Like, I wrote my answers this afternoon. Prepping for episodes takes a lot of time, planning. We move things around all the time. If we have people joining us, like even Judy, who, we see regularly, it's still hard to coordinate. Right now, I'm in a different city than you are. So there's a lot of work that goes into it that I hadn't actually thought about.
Yeah.
Never mind advertising. Oh, I hate the advertising.
Yeah. And I never did the advertising because same thing. I hate it too.
But like, it's also, I remember we try to pre-record when we're together because it's nice. It's kind of fun to feed off of each other in person opposed to online. And so we try to pre-record as many as we can, which is why you probably noticed last week, we were together, but we weren't together last week. That was a pre-recording from whenever I saw you last sometime over the summer. So we tried. Obviously, that wasn't doable for every episode. But when we pre-record, we sit in that room and we pre-record for hours.
Yep.
It is exhausting.
And the room that she's talking about is very hot during the summer. And currently, because there's no window, because I made an oopsie, very, very cold in winter.
The last time we recorded, I think we did 5 hours or something like that. We did clothing changes to kind of try to look like we were doing it at different times. I was wearing a sweater for that Halloween episode, which we recorded in like July. And it must have been 30 degrees Celsius in that room. And the neighbor's car was going off, the light was shining in, trying to figure out the lighting. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I did not think it would be that much work. So that surprised me.
Yeah. I do think that the work we've put in thus far, I mean, we have put in a lot of work and we could put in more work to make
Definitely, yeah.
like much better. And I think that's one of the steps. We're going to get into this question, but I think that is one of the steps because I do quite enjoy doing this as much as the work drags me out sometimes, or I just throw fits because I have this thing called procrastination and a full-time job like, everyone else does.
Point two that I said was it surprised me how much I actually enjoy doing the podcast. So I got roped into this because it's just like Bailey's failed YouTube series, Big Red's Adventures. She says, hey, I want to do this thing, come do it with me. And if I say no, she keeps bugging me until I do it. So I just give in and do it anyway. But I've actually enjoyed it. And I do like this part, obviously, the most, us talking.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
like that we have set topics to talk about, and whilst trying to stay on topic is really hard, it's kind of fun.
It
It's
is.
like, oh, yeah, we need to talk about this subject today. Or, oh, we get to talk about has-been today. And I was really excited about talking about has-been. And yeah, I actually enjoy doing that. And I do enjoy going off script because you never know what's going to come out of our mouths.
No, not at all. And I think that's what makes our podcast the whole shebang. The whole shebang. We literally talk about everything, and this isn't scripted. But what we say, we're not reading off a script of what we're going to say to each other. We're going off of what we are saying in the moment right now and coming up with our thoughts and ideas. And so it seems disjointed at times, but it's the most real content we can give you.
My third point is about Judy. Hi, Judy, love you. So, my surprise was how incredibly serious Judy was coming in for her guest appearances. And I mean this in the best of ways, because Bailey and I are very much like, okay, we're going to talk about Apothecary Diaries. Judy says, I want to come and talk about that too. So we said, okay, come and talk about it. And you and I are like, we're going to wing this. We're just going to share whatever thoughts we have at the moment. Judy came fully prepared. She had her iPad with a list of notes of research she had done on certain topics, things she wanted to say. And she was very serious, very on subject. And she was just like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make it the best I can. And you and I are like two little silly geese sitting in the corner, like, oh, yeah, that's really interesting. Judy's like, oh yeah, I did some research on this medicine that Mau Mau made, and this is real and this isn't, and blah blah blah. And we're just like, oh, we should probably have done something like that. Like Judy took it so seriously. It was a job that she was gonna do, and she's gonna make it the best she could. And you and I, like, I have never felt more unprepared than watching her with her little notes. It's our podcast, and we were not prepared.
Never prepared.
And she was the complete opposite, and she was so on task that it made me feel bad about how off task I was. So yeah, those are the things I was most surprised about in general. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work. Okay, so my second question was, what episode did you enjoy recording the most? What was the most fun to record?
Ooh.
I put 3 down.
Okay. I'll choose from my top 3. I actually really enjoyed the superstitions episode. Or
Santa
sorry, Nope, not that one. The other one we did where I started talking about quantum physics.
Oh, Paranormal Activities.
I liked that one. I liked recording it. I liked how we literally like delved into a billion different things.
Yeah, that one was before we started video.
Yeah.
And we were all three of us sitting on your couch. I mean, we made it work. Do you want me to share mine while you think about it?
Yeah, you share yours and I'll think of mine.
My favorite one to record was episode 23, which was our Whole Shebang book talk. And it has done very poorly, which makes me really sad because I really enjoyed doing it because I had to reread the books I was recommending, and then getting to talk about something that I like that hardly anyone ever talks about or knows about was fantastic. And I think it was a lot of fun, and it really made me want to do a book club. I also enjoyed all of the archaeology ones, obviously. I mentioned already my problems listening to myself talk and the breathiness. I think my favorite out of all those was the Anunnaki one, our first Ancient Aliens one, because I was prepared for that one, and I was like Judy, and I took it seriously, and I brought books, and I had images, and it would have been really great to show it off, but it was really fun to talk about because I don't get to yak about Mesopotamia as much as I would like, even though it's what I study and like my career. The topics that I got to touch on were things that I enjoy but do not like directly study, so that was kind of fun. And also just ripping apart ancient aliens is one of my favorite activities, so that was great. Doing the tarot is always fun, like we do it for fun all the time. But I really enjoyed having to make notes of my dreams because they're so weird. And I had a weird dream just the other day and I didn't write it down. And I was thinking, oh, if I was still doing that dream journal, I would have written it down when I woke up and I would have remembered how weird it was. And it was just kind of fun getting to read the most bizarre things that were coming to my head. Like, I don't remember any of those dreams, but they're all written down. So now I can go back and be like, oh, yeah, that. So I would like to do that again because it was a lot of fun.
I hate to copy you with the like I do truly enjoy like our ancient aliens, ancient apocalypse because archaeology to me is just so fascinating and to hear it from someone who studies it and that is just it just tickles me pink. I love learning. And yes, the decoding dreams and the tarot, I also like all of that. We should also have I have runes. We should try runes one day.
Oh, I have them too, and I have a book.
So I like doing stuff like that because that falls under my religion and what I practice. Like,
I'm so glad you said that because it's under my things of things I would like to continue in the future, which is a question I have for later. But also, I have a voodoo book and I think we should do some voodoo.
I know I got you that voodoo book.
Yeah. Do you think if I do some love voodoo on you, you'd fall in love with me?
No, I'm already in
And
love
then
with
the
something else.
and then the tarot cards won't say that we're gonna get a divorce and like our future is bleak.
It probably will still say that.
Okay. So we're gonna be 80?
Yeah, we're gonna have our big breakup in the retirement home. How else are we gonna entertain the nurses looking after us?
One day we need to share on the podcast our plans for when we're old ladies because we have it all figured out. And I was telling this to Judy the other day, and she was like, "Oh, actually, your idea makes a lot of sense, but it makes sense."
Doesn't it? You'll
Yeah, it
find
does.
out one day.
You'll find out one day. Those ones are fun. I mean, I also like doing our fandom episodes, but they're not my favorite.
The fandom I enjoy, but
Which is weird because that's the stuff we talk about in our spare time. But then when we're like, oh, we actually have to sit down to talk about Owl House, which we both absolutely love, it was kind of I don't know what to say about it now. I'm on the spot.
yeah, I do enjoy the fandom ones, but I think the fandom ones would be better in a different format.
Yeah, I think we need to standardize the fandom format a little bit. I will say that the Has Been Hotel season 2 one was the easiest fandom thing we did, probably because it had just finished and there was a lot to say about it.
Yeah, it was very fresh.
Yeah, so I think we can work on that in the future. Okay, should I go to the next question?
Yeah, hit me with it.
What challenges arose that you did not anticipate?
Okay, challenges. I think the challenges for me that I didn't anticipate was going to be the time it takes us to record.
Yeah, that was one of mine too.
Because it all seemed fine on paper. It's like, okay, let's get together, let's record these 40 to 45 minutes each. But to get the recordings done for our schedules to align with everything else that happens in life, because we both are full time with our jobs and careers and whichever else, right? Another thing that surprised me was the learning curve for the editing for me in the beginning. Now I do have a program that edits it for me quite easily, and I will keep that program. It has saved my
I
butt.
mean, keep it until we become famous enough we can hire a professional. So keep listening because we want to make money so we can hire a professional.
And maybe that way our videos will get to the tier that I want them to be, because I am also perfectionist. So when I see little things in our videos, I don't like a single one of our videos or a single one of our audio recordings. To me, it just does not, it's not perfect. It's not what I think about when I think about something to show people. It's still very ragtag, in my opinion. It's hard, but we're getting there and we're just starting. And I need to learn that it's okay to start at the bottom and not the top. And I don't like that.
I think that's a pretty good challenge to talk about, is the perfectionism.
Because I know you have
I
it.
think, yeah, I can't watch them back. I mean, I do sometimes a little bit, and it makes me cringe a little. I've been listening to bits of it because I've been making reels, but even the reels make me unhappy and the ads make me unhappy. And I'm not a graphic designer. I don't have money for Photoshop. If I did, maybe it would be better. I would love to hire someone professionally because, with a real editor, you can get really good quality things.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, we need better cameras, we need better lighting. The amount of hours it has been of us sitting there trying to figure out lighting.
What you have right now is good for me.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's a challenge. My things is funny because I also had things about time. So trying to stay within a time limit or reach a goal time. We said 40 to 45 minutes. We have never done 40 to 45 minutes. Not a single video is 40 to 45 minutes.
No video of the couple episodes we did were 40 to 45 minutes. But then I think that they were too long for the topics that we were talking about.
Yeah, so I said we managed a few with a timer because we did try this where we had a timer, but even then we still went over. And I think the last hotel episode is a prime example of us going overtime, as that's an hour and 10 minutes long. Mostly me talking, I apologize. Then also we had episodes like the plant episode, which was fun to talk about, but we had to draw that out to 20 minutes. That was a lot of work. We did not come prepared. We did not have anything to say. It was really hard to fill the silence. So I think better time management planning.
And I think if we had something like a generalized script and we did like a pre-run to see how long it would take.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to
Oh.
if we had to pre-record, that would kill us. But I think something like this where there's pre-questions that we can both think about and already kind of have an idea of what we want to talk about. And I know you well enough to kind of predict the things you're gonna say versus what I'm gonna say. I like that. I like the more interview style.
Or the questions, like you said, that we can play back and forth.
That's why I think one of the episodes I didn't mention that was really fun to record was our questions one where we did the quizzes. So it was structured and it was super random and we learned things about each other we didn't know and didn't want to know. Another challenge that I found was getting the energy to be motivated to actually record.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm with you.
That's really hard. Sometimes there's some days where I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do this, and we start off strong, and our first recording is great, and I'm feeling it, and like it's great. But then after we do two, especially those days where we are doing multiple in a row, it's just like, oh, we gotta do another one.
Or even like today, like I love recording this episode right now, but to get myself in the headspace, I had to come home from work and it's gearing up for Christmas, which is my busiest season, and sit on the couch for about half an hour and zone out before I did this because I needed the downtime.
Yeah, when we're done this, I'm gonna call you. We're gonna talk some more about podcasting and things and catch up on our week. And while we're doing that, I'm going to be sitting here grading because it's Christmas and exams. I spent 7 hours grading exams yesterday. So, like, it's a lot of work to be motivated, I think. Which is funny because once we start recording, I find it fine. Like, it's just the really, like, oh, now I have to turn on the Zoom and I put makeup on and I haven't worn makeup in 2 weeks. It's hard sometimes, but once we start, it's totally fine. And then the other challenge that I didn't really anticipate was how, like I've already said, how hard it is to do multiple episodes in one night.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think we need to reorganize or restructure how we do our episodes so we don't get burnt out like that.
Yeah, it was a lot. But at the same time, like it was a lot of work in one day. But also, like our last episode was pre-recorded, and I felt so great knowing we didn't have to record a podcast 3 days before it had to come out.
Oh, and we've done that before, by the way. I think
And
we
we
did
have to,
the night before.
yeah, we're actually ahead of it. This is a week before it comes out, but that's because I don't have time for next week.
Me neither.
So, we kind of had to do it early, but when we leave it for the last minute, it stresses me out a lot. Whereas when we have it pre-recorded, it was just like, oh, we have a whole month. We don't actually have to worry about podcast stuff. It just has to be put up.
Yeah.
And that makes it worth it, but at the same time, it's really hard. Okay, so the next question is, what episode did you think would do well and didn't do well?
Okay, so I do have an episode for this,
Mm.
but I really did. And did it do well? Not really.
On YouTube, though, it's actually not too bad. There's 22 views on YouTube, and our highest viewed episode has 52 views. So it's not that far behind.
No, it's not that far behind, but I think that one took a while to get views.
Yeah.
Whereas in the other ones, they'll usually get like, a couple right off the bat and then peter off. But that one, it took
A while.
even.
I think once I start making reels for that one's gonna make some really, really hilarious reels for Instagram.
We are trying to focus a little bit more on advertising, as you could tell.
After next week when all the exams are done.
Yes.
And I don't have stuff to do. Okay, yeah, I can see that. For me, I thought that the fandom episodes would do better. Because our original planning with the fandom was like every fifth episode we'd do a fandom episode. It would bring some sort of structure to otherwise absolute chaos. And we'd like talking about fandom stuff. And we figured we would find our very niche group of people through our fandoms. Which we probably have. I imagine some of our listeners are probably here because of our like has been episode or something.
Oh, probably.
But I did think they would do better, especially the has been one, which it's been okay, but it hasn't been as nearly as high as I thought it would be, considering season 2 had just finished.
Yeah, I think that has to do a lot with the presentation of the fandom.
Mhm.
Because I would watch reaction videos of my favorite fandoms, but I wouldn't necessarily like listen. So
I think, I don't know, we'll figure it out as we go.
yeah, we'll experiment with some new things.
But yeah, that's what I kind of had originally anticipated would be like, these are what's going to get us views. And then it was not. And it was the things I hadn't thought that we would be getting views on that did, like our tarot reading stuff.
Yeah.
And like even like Paranormal Activities did fairly well, but it did better than I was anticipating it doing. Next question is, what episode so far has done the best? And this is you with your stats.
Me with my stats. Yes. Okay. Let me grab the stats.
I can tell you which one on YouTube did the best because I got YouTube open. So our most watched video on YouTube currently is Decoding Dreams, Our Journey with Dream Journals and Tarot, which has 52 views in the last 5 months. Our second most watched video currently is the Apothecary Diaries fandom special, which has 49 views, and I'm going to watch it again tonight so that it finally gets to 50 because at 49 is bugging me a lot.
For our podcast, so this is just like Spotify, Apple, iTunes, where people listen and they don't watch. Tattoos is our most listened to.
It's one of the least ones on YouTube, but that's because there's no video for that one yet.
Yeah. But yeah, it surprised me that tattoos did well, and then paranormal activities came in second for the podcast.
Okay, next question, which is one we're probably going to spend more time talking about. Actually, there's two that are coming up that we'll spend a lot of time on. What content would you like to continue in the future? Which may be a little preview for what we're going to do next year.
I would definitely like to do the dreams. I'd like to do more dreams. I think that it was just fun to do
What's it?
episodes. So a little bit more about the paranormal stuff and superstitions and witchcraft and that I would really like to continue doing those episodes in the future.
I really want someone to take the dream I had where you're a talking slug and you get whisked away by a crow, and I want someone to animate that because I think it'd be hilarious. I would like to do more of the book talk ones. Obviously, like not a lot because we have to read the books. Yeah, and it did pretty poorly, but I had a lot of fun doing it. But I do think that we should consider reconstructing kind of how we're doing it and maybe focus on more popular, like current popular books.
Yes,
Maybe that your guts have read.
I think it might be an idea to finally set up the Discord properly. And if you are a viewer and you like books, do you want to join our Discord book club? Let us
Yeah,
know. I think that would be fun.
that would be fun. I also said I enjoy doing the archaeology things, obviously. Even I wrote in brackets, obviously with an eye roll. And I would like to do more. I like the educational realm of things. I think I have a lot of fun doing educational videos with you. But the archaeology ones are fun for me because it's kind of a way to get my research out there for a public audience that's not going to engage with my academia stuff. I don't assume anybody listening to this has any sort of academic training, but I would like to get more into that kind of content. And one of my ideas for a future episode even is how to survive undergraduate. Because I work as a TA, and there's a lot of things that students don't know that I wish I had known when I was an undergrad. Like, what is your TA actually grading you on? How do you pass an assignment? There are very little tricks that you can use to make your assignments better without having to be a super brilliant or great student. Like, literally, it is all about following instructions. And it is impressive how if you can follow instructions well, you're probably going to do well on the assignment.
Yeah.
And not being afraid to ask questions. And so like I wanted to talk about that in my experience as a TA versus a student because now I've done both. And there's a lot of little things that I could say, and then I can cleverly give the podcast out to my students and say, hey, if you want to learn more about your TA and her personal life, but also how to survive this course, listen to this horrible podcast of me talking.
I think we could have like series.
We could.
You can have different playlists and series because, I mean, you do that professionally, and I also dog groom professionally. And if anyone was interested in that, that is also a foray I was thinking about getting into in the future would be educational videos.
And on topic of videos, so we had agreed when we were doing the Ancient Apocalypse one, particularly, that they would have worked out better as reaction videos. And we had tried a reaction video, just in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to edit.
And I am very unfamiliar with YouTube's rules.
There's a lot
And
of rules.
I have a feeling that we would get it up or not get it up at all. and it would be taken down right away, just copyright and everything like that.
So if we had a professional editor, say 3 years from now,
Maybe. Or if, I don't know, someone wants to message us, and I haven't even really looked at editors and what they would charge per video. So,
but we would both like to do reaction videos. It's not that we don't want to. The time for it is not realistic right now because we're not making any money on this. In fact, we're losing money on this.
a lot of money. But yeah,
The podcast is fun for us still, which is why we're doing another year.
oh yeah.
But for us to also have to sit down and do reaction videos, it needs to be worth it.
We do need to at least cover the costs of what it costs to make. Because we could take the hit on the equipment, because equipment can always be resold, in terms of the time. And I mean, it's kind of like a downer talking about the logistics of making the podcast, but I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of them stop after a year, is, or sooner, or just stop in general, is because it does take a lot to make.
And we did actually think about stopping with this episode.
We did, but
And I told you if we do another year, we're doing a full other year.
Yes. So don't worry, we are doing a full year
Year
2.
two. And we may do year 3, or maybe we'll just cut the podcast and go to reactions in year 3. We've talked about ghost hunting series. We've talked about educational videos. We've talked about travel videos. There's a lot of things that could happen in the future. We don't know what the future holds.
Yes. And it will all depend, because it is hard right now all over the world. So
Yeah. But we will probably sometime next year start a Patreon, I think.
yeah, and I'd like to hear a lot more from the fans. We have Nate, who's been great, but I want to hear a lot more people in the comments. Let us know.
And maybe we just do reaction videos on Patreon, because then we don't have to worry about the copyright as much. Who knows what'll happen? Things change. I don't have a job in January yet, which means I have a lot more time to dedicate to this. Sorry, Bailey. But it does mean I can do more. I can make more reels. I can engage more with the YouTube. I can do some of the editing. But that could change.
Yes, and one thing that I will also say for January is I have expanded my business, and that has offered me a lot of free time. So January this year will be slower for me, and I will be able to take extra days.
And I might even be in the same city as you, because right now I don't have a plane ticket back here after Christmas. So we could have time to actually sit down together and do it, which is a lot more different than doing it online.
Oh, a lot more.
So who knows what's going to happen? We haven't thought about it yet.
Who knows?
Let us know if there's something you want to see.
We're at least doing a year 2. So
Yeah, and we're excited about it. We have a lot of ideas. We have videos already planned. Some have been moving around. Yeah, there's fandoms we want to talk about we haven't talked about yet.
cooking, which I thought might be super fun.
I think we should try to pickle weird things
Like what?
like fruits and vegetables and things. I want to make pickled pineapple, and I want to make you eat it on camera.
Oh, but that is one thing we could do. We could totally do strange foods.
We could do like the gross or weird food challenge.
Man, I'm not doing the fish.
We could do durian, like the fruit.
Okay.
The
Never heard of
fruit
that.
that smells like skunk.
Can we do it outside?
Well, obviously. It's supposed to taste good, it just smells awful.
Okay. Well, yeah, we might have, I think that might be a fun video that we would have to think about in the future. That might
Yeah.
just be on YouTube, because those don't translate well over into
Podcast form, yeah.
podcast.
But we've also talked about ghost hunting at some point, and I've talked with other people about it, and they think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it would be fun too. I mean, let's go meet the wolves in the graveyard again. They were fun.
Oh, yeah. And I have also poked at some of my friends about possibly making guest appearances to talk about archaeology or places they've traveled or, museum stuff. So who knows? And you have a lot of interesting friends too who do dog stuff and horses and all
Yeah,
those kind of fun.
animal
So
thing.
there's a lot of options out there.
And we have a lot of ideas.
We have too many ideas.
Yeah, that's the problem. We want to do it all, but we can't, and it all takes time.
I feel like we will definitely be talking about mermaids at some point in year 2.
Oh yeah, we got a mermaid on call. Don't worry.
So look forward to that. Something else I said I wanted to do more of was the Wicca supernatural paranormal things because we enjoy doing that.
We enjoy doing that a lot.
And it seems to do fairly well. So
Yeah.
take a ladybug, it's fine. It just flies around and then disappears.
And you've killed it how many times?
Like twice. The rest of the time I just let it do its own thing. Feel attacked. I shipped you that Ouija board. I was gonna wrap your keys in it because somebody left her keys at my house and then gone on an airplane.
Oh, whoops.
Whoops. And then I had to mail them to you, and I looked at the Ouija board, which we made out of paper, and I was like, I could wrap her keys in this Ouija board, and that would be hysterical. But I didn't. Instead, I wrote you a very nice letter, and I sealed it with my stamp seal.
You did.
Okay, let's move on to the next question because I have 3 more questions. What episode was the most challenging?
I'm gonna say the book talk episode for me.
Oh, interesting.
Mainly because I'm horrible at recommending books that I like. I just can't find the right words to say that expresses my direct emotions on the book.
You should have written it down.
I should, if I write it down, I will remember and it will be good. But if I try and talk about it off the top of my head, it just ends up a jumbled mess and I feel like I haven't communicated properly.
Interesting.
So that,
Kind of like how you recommend anime by just playing it and seeing what happens.
yeah, because I can't genuinely express off the top of my head what it makes me feel. I have to have you watch it or I need to write you an essay.
The one I found the most challenging, and you're going to get a kick out of this one, Bailey, is one we were actually supposed to record and moved around twice before pushing it into another year.
Yeah,
So
that one.
what happened over a year ago is we were on the phone and we said, let's make a podcast. We said, okay, so let's plan out 2 years worth of videos. So we did. So year 2 is technically planned. Will it stay that way? Absolutely not. But, most of year 1 was set. We knew what we were going to talk about. We changed a few here and there. But there's one episode in particular, and I'm going to share what it is because I do want to do this episode. We wanted to talk about imposter syndrome and insecurity and like fitting in and that kind of thing. So this was supposed to happen, and then we kind of moved it around with one of our topics because it kind of fit better and we didn't want to be too serious. And we're like, we'll just do it later. Well, then the time that we picked to do it just so happened to be the day before I was supposed to present in a huge conference in front of a bunch of scary and impressive scholars, including my supervisor. And I was very overwhelmed and feeling the imposter syndrome 100%. I was like, I cannot talk about this seriously while I am stressing thinking about it. So I sent Bailey a text kind of last minute and said, hey, can we not do this? And can we talk about Hazbin Hotel Season 2 instead? It just came out. It made sense. When we made the plan, we didn't know Season 2 was coming out at all. So it was kind of unpredictable. And we just Bailey said, yeah, sure, we're going to talk about it anyway. Let's just do it. So that one was actually supposed to be imposter syndrome, completely different, took a different turn. But that episode, I really, really want to talk about it because I think it's really important, but it stresses me out to think about.
Yeah, it stresses me out too because I don't like getting emotional, and that is a very emotionally deep episode.
I think it'll be important for us, though.
Oh, it is very important, and it's important to talk about.
But definitely not when I was super stressed about the presentation literally the next day. Like hours. It was a matter of hours before the presentation. And yeah, there was no way it was going to happen. I was like, I can't do this. It's just going to stress me out more. And it's funny because we had to move it twice already. So now it's just kind of floating around in thin air. So that was the hardest episode for me. We didn't even do it. But I do want to do it. It was just, I don't know what to do with it, you know?
Yeah.
And talking about Hazbin Hotel season 2, which is probably why I talked for an hour and you very kindly listened to me and let me talk about it, was because my presentation stressed me out so much I couldn't think about it. And it was the perfect distraction tool. So I thank you for that. But also, yeah, imposter syndrome in the future, it will happen sometime.
Eventually.
All right, the other thing I mentioned was that I felt unprepared for a few of our episodes. I'm not going to list which ones just because then I don't want it to sound bad towards that episode. But there were a few where we had no plan going in. We're like, okay, we have this topic, let's talk about it. And I kind of wish I had a little bit more motivation to sit and think about it at least a little bit beforehand.
Yeah, I definitely think going forward, structuring our episodes a little bit will help us greatly.
Yeah, I think we should make like an overall structure for every episode. And then just like each episode could be slightly different. But we already have our intro and our outro, which is a great way to start the structure.
Oh, yeah.
But then if we have like little segments or something in between that kind of give it a little bit more, I don't know.
Exactly.
So the next question, I'm gonna actually skip to my last question and then go back to the one that's supposed to come next. So what is something you were unsurprised by doing the podcast? I can share mine if you'd like.
Yeah, share yours. See, this is where the preparedness comes in.
Uh-huh. So my number one thing, well, okay, there's two things. So the first one is the challenge of getting listeners and our low social media presence. Because I do post that each episode is out, but to have to make, like, we need a lot more advertising, but then I feel guilty because it's mostly our friends and family who we know who are following us, who are now getting bombarded with all these posts and ads. And like I feel bad about that because it gets really annoying for me because I also am one of our followers who gets bombarded by these things. But it needs to happen. So I need to get over that. But I knew it was going to be a challenge. The other thing that I was completely unsurprised by was the amount of reminders I had to give to Bailey. And the times that I had to tell you that you had to record and you had no choice because we needed to finish the year and you need to suck it up. Which only happened like twice. But I was anticipating it.
I'm glad you were.
Because I know you and I helped with Big Red's adventures and I know how that went. But the reminders is like every week. Don't forget. And then I know you remember on your own, but then I feel like the one time I don't remind you is going to be the time that you do forget, kind of like Judy's birthday last year.
Not bad, Judith.
Yeah. I mean, you remembered the next day. It was close enough.
I sound so bad.
Yeah, well, we had celebrated her birthday the week before because I left early. So you did celebrate her birthday before her birthday. You just forgot to say it on her birthday. Even though I wrote it on huge, huge letters on your calendar, on your wall, and it's in your phone. And now I can set it as a reminder on all of your platforms. But
It's going to be like an emergency broadcast system on my TV.
well, like every year I send you a reminder, don't forget it's Judy's birthday tomorrow. And you say, yeah, I remember. So I was like, okay, she's gonna remember. And then you didn't.
Not
And
bad.
I feel the same way with the podcast though, because it's not every week, it's every other week. I'm like, oh, she's gonna be so busy, she's gonna forget that she needs to get it out. And you'll remember like Monday afternoon while you're at work that it's not out, and or I'll start texting you and be like, where's the podcast? So then I feel the need to have to remind you, and I know that's probably really annoying for you, but I'm just like, if I forget, you're gonna forget.
It's actually not annoying. In times where you have reminded me the Saturday or like Sunday morning, you're like, hey, podcast comes out Monday. just so you know. And I have forgotten about it. I have been editing videos at 11 o'clock at night.
And you may have noticed I've been like, hey, really looking forward to listening to the podcast tomorrow. Or like, oh, I hope the editing's going well. Or when we talk on Friday, I'll be like, don't forget, like, oh, you're just gonna really suck having to edit on the weekend.
And like sometimes I'll go like, yeah, I know. And then I completely forget about it. And then I'm like, this is why she reminds me.
I do feel like I have to be your conscience a little bit sometimes.
Well, yeah, because there's nothing going on in my brain, like ever.
It's just so funny, but that was completely unsurprising because I know you so well that I knew this was gonna be a thing. But I do feel bad about constantly nagging you for it, but I'm like, if I don't, she's just not gonna do it.
There you go. It's that it. Mm.
And hey, we haven't missed one.
No, we haven't.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
So that's what I was unsurprised by.
Yeah, I think definitely can relate to like unsurprised by how hard it has been to get the views and engagement. That's another thing that I'm unsurprised by. Like it is very hard to get engagement. I mean, you see TikTokers or whichever else videos and they're getting hundreds of thousands of views or likes and comments, and
Yeah.
it took them probably a long time, or they paid to get that, because there are bots that you can pay to drop you comments, drop you likes, subscribers.
If we had been maybe more structured and like we're talking about archaeology, we would get a lot more like views from people looking at archaeology stuff. But because we wanted to experiment, and this is just one big experiment to find out what we enjoy doing and whether or not it's worth doing, which we so far have enjoyed doing it, it is very random.
We hit a lot of niche topics that the fandoms are they're very small and all over. And so we're only hitting very small groups, because if only one episode comes out that hits something in your niche, why are you going to listen to the other episodes that aren't?
So I could see us in the future turning into multiple podcasts where we do one that's like about pets, and we do one about archaeology, and we do one about Wicca and fantastical creatures or something like that. I can see it changing in such a way that that becomes the future. Granted, we have more time.
Yeah, more time. And I would also like to experiment with one that's strictly just one topic. See how, I don't know, I find it interesting to see how quickly you can grow things on like social media and online presence. So following, the algorithms and the trends and everything like that, like how popular you could get and how quickly.
And that could be an episode of our podcast where we do this. You make like a one themed, trendy podcast for, say, a month or two. And then we come and talk about it on this random podcast about how it went and whether or not it was worth doing or keep going and stuff like that. This could branch off into so many directions. And I like that because I think it lets us be very experimental in finding what we do. Like, I like the fandom episodes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're going to stop doing the fandom episodes. They are not my favorite to record.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought I would enjoy it more. I don't enjoy it as much as I thought. I would rather talk just about archaeology than have fandom episodes.
Yeah.
But the fandom episodes do hit on some niches and people like them, and I don't want to stop doing them just because I might not have the most fun doing it.
Yeah, because I still have fun. It's not the most fun, but yeah, there's still fun there.
I enjoy shoving things in your nose for you to smell for nose ticklers, and that did terribly. So, sometimes we're going to enjoy things that people aren't going to care about.
And that's okay. This is, like you said, just a giant experiment, basically, where we're having fun and we're putting ourselves out on social media, and whoever wants to join and follow along, join and follow along.
Yeah, putting ourselves on social media and hoping to goodness that my students never find this. Hey, Miss Raquel, I saw your podcast. Great.
I really wish we lived in the same city, because if I could just pop into that school and leave like a brochure on all of your students' desks, so when you walk in one day, they're just like, Miss Raquel,
What's this?
what's this?
Well, we should have done that at Fan Expo.
I know, we weren't thinking ahead at Fan Expo. We should have had like, cards, brochures,
Next time.
stickers with our faces on them.
Okay, you know what we'll do in August? You'll come down here with me to visit. We won't actually go to Fan Expo because that costs a lot. We'll just stand outside of it.
We totally could.
Here, take our card. Enjoy, enjoy. I love your cosplay. Take our card. Can you get this autograph from this person? Here's $80.
I'll get one of the girls at work to make us shirts that say the whole shebang.
We'll be like the really irritating promo people who stand there wearing silly hats. Like, listen to this podcast.
What you gotta do?
Out on the street.
You never know unless you try.
We were standing in line for autographs and someone gave you a card.
Yeah, and I followed them on YouTube.
And like it would have been so easy because every line that you, me, and Judy were in together, or just even me and Judy together, we struck up an entire line-long conversation. And it was about the fandoms that we talk about on this show.
Yeah.
And I remember standing in line with Judy for Erica Henningsen's Charlie Morningstar's autograph. And we struck up this whole conversation because this girl in front of us had a hat with King on it from the Owl House. And I told her I loved her hat. And we started talking about Hasbin and Hasbin theories. And like the whole line suddenly became engaged in this conversation that Judy and I started.
Yeah.
And if we're going to entertain people in line, we might as well give them a card so we can entertain them later too.
Right?
Missed opportunity.
We'll do better.
Okay, last question. Are you ready?
Ready?
Where would you like the podcast to go in the future? We've already talked about this a little bit.
We have. I think there is a grand dream I have of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the realistic dream I have for the podcast. So the grand dream is that we hit it really big. We're making money off the podcast, and it's something that I could devote myself to a lot more. And we do have fans that engage, and I love seeing I listen to certain podcasts every week because I absolutely enjoy them. And same thing with YouTube videos. I watch them religiously because I enjoy the people who make them. And showing the support and allowing them to live the lives that they are living just by being someone who watches or listens to their content. I would really hope that we would get there for our podcast. That is the grand dream of like end all dreams for podcasters everywhere. Realistic dream for the podcast and where I'd like to see it go. I would like to experiment more, I think, and just see what hits with people and do what we can. I mean, end goal dream would be to afford an editor.
We talked about that.
But I think realistically, that is the dream. If we could just cover the expenses and get an editor to edit our videos and do stuff like that for us, I think that's the realistic dream as opposed to the grand fame and fortune kind of thing.
Is there anything either that we've already kind of done a video on or that we haven't that you would like to do in the future that you have already in mind? Like a topic or something that you would like to cover?
I think I really do want to try the baking. And I think
because we were gonna, so the idea with this was we were gonna pick a recipe or something that we had never made. We were talking maybe beignets or something fancy like that. And Bailey and I are not the worst cooks. Like we're fairly good cooks. But together we are chaos.
so how would that go? I think it'd be fun.
And we've never cooked together. I mean, kind of. But for the most part, it's one of us tells the other one what to do and we sit back and like give each other space. So I think if we're both like fussing over things in the kitchen, it's gonna be a mess.
See, I think we should do competition beignets. or something of the like competition. We both make the same thing.
You don't have a big enough kitchen for that.
See, that's where the fun would come in.
I mean, we could record it separately where like I record you on a camera making yours and then you come and record me doing mine.
Yeah, and then we just compare recipes because I think that'd be fun. Like I'll try yours, you try mine, and then we try our own and we see whose we like better.
And then we get a neutral judge. So not your significant other.
Fine, then I'll get the other member we have in our cult to come and judge. I think she doesn't have any allergies. We don't have many friends that don't have many allergies.
That's the other thing, though. We could try doing gluten-free baking because we have some pretty hard gluten-free critics.
One of our friends has to also be nut-free with the gluten-free.
Better than sugar-free. I had a friend who was going sugar-free, and that was, for some reason, when I made her dinner, I decided I was going to make everything as sweet as physically possible without actually using any sugar. It was interesting. Dessert actually turned out pretty good. It was like bananas and coconut that were cooked together, and then I froze them as a popsicle. It was actually really good. But I was using like honey and I did mango chicken, and I was like, where's my brain going? Why am I like I have to make it sweet because I'm not allowed to use sugar? I don't know. That's hard. Sugar-free, that's
It's a good challenge.
everything has sugar in it.
Another one, when we do our little coven get-togethers, sometimes it has to be gluten-free, nut-free, and vegan. So that's
Oh
also
yeah.
challenging. But you know what? It's fun to come up with the recipes.
I've gotten pretty good at gluten-free now.
I'm still working on it.
I've got a few like standard things that I make that are gluten-free that I just know I have in the back pocket that I can like, here's my gluten-free food. But yeah, I think the cooking would be fun. I don't know about podcast for the
No, I think
cooking.
that would be more of a video kind of thing. Podcast, if we were to talk about or do anything, I don't know, that's hard. I really do like the episodes that we have, like the variety. Doing more witchcraft episodes, I would like to do those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What about you?
After I answered this question, I'm going to quickly skim through what we had planned for season 2, and I will pull out a few things that I think we're going to save because I haven't looked at that list in a while.
Neither.
So I said I would like to continue to have it somewhat random and crazy, but more structured in terms of episode, like individual episode structure. I think keeping every 5th episode as a fandom episode is helpful, but something that I've been thinking about and I have not yet proposed to you, so this is the first Bailey's hearing about it, is possibly doing every episode before or after the fandom episode as a either Wicca, fantasy, supernatural kind of episode.
Done. I'm all done. I'm all for that.
But then it makes it even more structured so you know that like 1 month is going to be, this and this, and then random episodes, and then this and this again. So I think the more we do it, the more like, okay, so first we're going to have, say, a Wicca episode, and then we're going to have a serious episode where we finally talk about imposter syndrome. And then we're going to have an episode where we talk about some completely random topic, and then we're going to do fandom, and then we're going to do this, and just kind of a little bit more structured, but still random, And then something else I said was, I think doing the episodes with more prepared questions, kind of interview like this, or set topics. Sometimes when we actually prepare, we kind of like, okay, we want to talk about this thing and that thing and this thing, and we'll make sure we group it in. I think a little bit more planning of that would be good. I think experimenting with different topics and themes, well, maybe not helping us gain popularity with randomness of our episodes is what makes our podcast fun. And I would like to continue to do it at least, every couple episodes, have it super random. I mean, we've gone from talking about your Brazilian to complaining about healthcare in one episode, and that is so fun.
I love that about our podcast, how we do jump around and it's normal conversation.
It's like, I do like having more structure, but even within the structure, I like to feel free to venture out,
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it feel more like a real conversation. Like, this is us actually just talking to each other. It's as real as it's going to be. And I like that. And the last thing I said is I would like to invite maybe some more people that we know, like we've already mentioned. And Judy, of course, will probably be coming onto the podcast again. Judy, this is your announcement. You're coming onto the podcast again. But we have some other friends who have talked about maybe joining us, and they come with their own topics. We've mentioned our mermaid, so we'll try to get her on. And yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to get some more people on, but at the same time, we need to think about what kind of people are coming on. And right now, we have to keep it limited to people we know because we would need to pay a stranger because I'm not going to get somebody who I don't know in person on a podcast when I can't pay them.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody should be entitled for compensation for their time. I feel bad enough asking Judy to come on, but I think that our friendship is strong enough that I can do that. Whereas, like, even maybe some of your coworkers, I would feel kind of bad about.
You have to pay people to give you their time most of the time.
People deserve to be compensated for their time. We do this because it's fun. It's fun for us. If it wasn't fun, I would be really mad having to be here not being paid.
Yeah.
It is work. Even as a guest to come onto a podcast, it is work. If I get invited onto an archaeology podcast, I would probably expect some sort of stipend.
Mhm.
Something in return, and we can't offer anything. So right now we are limited to who we can ask. But maybe in the future we could have other people we don't know, people who are maybe fans. Or I have one particular idea. I'm not going to share it yet because we may or may not do it, that I want to do that I think would be really interesting, bringing, different kinds of voices into our episodes.
Yeah.
So that's something I was thinking about, and we kind of talked about it when we started too.
Okay. Time, and we are not at that point yet, but I'd like to be eventually.
Well, definitely in year 2, we will have an episode where we talk about the books that we recommended to each other.
Yes, that will happen in year 2, definitely.
We will try to get our mermaid friend on, but she will also be talking about how she convinced us to accidentally join her coven.
Yes.
I look forward to doing that one. This is kind of sad because we have a travel episode that we had planned, and all of our travel plans have been canceled, so we're gonna have to get rid of that one.
Yeah, we'll come up with something new.
I do want to do more archaeological conspiracy things. Maybe less about videos and more about things that are on social media or YouTube.
Ooh, yeah. I could pull up some stuff I see on TikTok.
I get a lot of crazy stuff. And that way we can share the posts and things too. So it's a little bit less, here's just us talking about an episode. We do have some fandom episodes planned, anime-ish things.
Yep, because we love the anime.
Oh, that one's funny. I think this one we're gonna have to get rid of. I'm not gonna say the title of that one, but if I did, you would know what I'm talking about, Bailey. It was a more serious one. We don't do serious very well, as evident by our moving around the imposter syndrome episode. Possible more dog things.
Maybe. I mean, I think in terms of the dog things, unless you're specifically listening for the dog things, I don't know. I think we could change the episodes.
Yeah,
with
we will, but it's
pet.
possible something might come up pet related.
Yeah, I think pet stories, if anything, or pet experiences.
Types of pets we wish we could own but are illegal. Love a tiger.
I knew a guy who owned an alligator.
Something I really want to do, and I'm sure you'd be up for this, which is a more serious one. I talked about surviving undergrad, but something we have, which was apparently going to come out in April, who knows, is the debate on post-secondary education. But I think it's serious, but it's fun enough that we can do that. And I have Judy down as a possibility for that one.
And I can make some points. I, again, for that one, see it from both sides, but I can definitely make some points for my side.
Well, I think it would be interesting between the three of us because Judy did do some university, but she obviously graduated with college. I am still in university. I haven't left yet. Bailey, you didn't go to university for more than, what, a month?
I mean, I applied, got accepted to both the college and the university, but I never went.
Yeah, but like you still have a career.
Yeah.
And I think there is a really weird push in our education system these days that you have to go to university or college after. And I think that needs to stop.
Yes, I agree with you there, and we'll get into it more in our debate because I would really like to do that.
So I think that'll be fun because I have a lot of things to say about that. And like for me, I don't like the push for it, but I am someone who's in an academic institution who wants to work in an academic institution. My livelihood will depend on people taking courses in my subject. So at the same time, it's kind of like, but I want to try to get people to think about it realistically.
Yeah.
We have an episode for cooking that'll probably change, but our title for it is brilliant. Should I share the title?
Yeah. I can't even remember what it is.
Knives and Wives,
Perfect.
which I think could be its own series, personally.
Yes, it could be.
I think it should be Knives, Wives, and Wine, and we just like drink wine before we make our recipes.
I don't like wine though.
Me neither. That's why it's funny.
We'll get
Each
a
to a
wine.
shot. Oh, we have. Oh, apparently we had imposter syndrome on both years. Oh dear, it's everywhere. And another travel recap. That's funny. Yeah, that's gonna have to change. Something we wanted to do, which we'll probably do, is more of those online quizzes, building our friendship. You would like that fandom episode one. I don't know if we're gonna do that though. I mean, we could if the movie's coming out. How to Train Your Dragon fandom episode.
Yeah. Yeah, the live action is most likely going to be coming out.
Yeah, and we have a possible haunted episode for October. I mean, it's time of year. Another one of these like serious bullying and bully episode. What were we thinking?
I think we were thinking that we needed to be serious, which I don't know. We're not really serious people.
And one we will definitely do for sure is going to be fan fiction.
Oh,
The plan we had pitched here was to each write a short fan fiction about the two of us in some realm and then read it out loud to each other. And I think we should start with that. Personally, that should be our next episode. Our next episode, which is our intro to year 2, we were going to talk about New Year's resolutions and then the books that we read, but I think we should do New Year's resolutions and fanfic.
Yeah.
Little preview for everybody.
Little preview. Come listen to our fan fictions.
What world should I put Bailey in? Should she be eaten by a dragon? We'll find out.
Mean.
I didn't say you would die being eaten by said dragon. I just said you'd be eaten by the dragon. Maybe when you become eaten by the dragon, you fuse with the dragon. And then you become the dragon. Or maybe the whole fanfiction is you are a dragon. And I am a beautiful princess that you kidnapped.
Oh, you know what? It's funny that you say that because I'm thinking that I'm going to have you be a princess in my story. You'll find out.
I don't like that you're so prepared for that. That worries me a lot. But the real question is, if I'm doing fan fiction, should I put you in an already established world or should I just make one?
Oh, I'm making yours. Yeah, if you still have the idea, we can think about it.
I do. And we can also like take turns reading them, or we could write one together on camera. I think could be kind of fun too.
Yeah, I think so. Was it Where I Was a Pig?
That was one of the ideas, but no, the idea I want to do is that the trees can suddenly talk to you, but all the trees are jerks.
Oh, right.
So you're just like walking through the woods and suddenly all the trees start like being really mean to you. And then the person next to you doesn't understand why you're really upset.
Yeah.
You just write a whole story about you having an existential crisis.
The trees are talking. What do you mean the trees are talking? Can't you hear them? Shoot them back.
They're broken. Can't do this.
They're broken. What are these 20th century people?
Why do they keep smiling at us like that? Are they so happy to be here? That one broke down weeping in joy. I don't understand.
Then you'd be in the corner. This is statistically impossible. This should not be happening because I don't believe in any of this, but I guess here I am.
No, I would probably join them. Be like, what other humans can we kidnap?
We'd be like, we got to make a pit stop in Canada.
Can we go get my friend? Judy, come with us.
We'd whisk all of our friends away and we'd be like, isn't this paradise?
Well, she would have been with your dogs at the time, and you would not be leaving your dogs behind, so we'd have to come get them anyway.
Right.
Rue would be good as a fairy hound.
Yes, and I would need to go get my horse so I have a noble steed.
I think that's our fan fiction right there. If you want to hear more of that story, maybe we'll write it. We also talked about creating a cult for fun, and maybe we'll do that as a podcast episode where we make up our cult and you can follow along and tell us if it's believable.
Hey, we already created one.
Yeah, well, that was for fun. Now we can do another one.
You gotta have more than one cult. I've got more followers.
What was it called? The Northern Circle? North Circle? She doesn't even remember the name of her cult.
Yes, it's the North Circle. It's on my other phone.
The broken one or the work one?
The work one now. So yeah, I guess we do gotta create a new one because this phone doesn't know it.
Yeah, see?
We had tier systems and everything.
We can worship dragons.
Okay.
You're too easy about that.
I love dragons.
You do know that I really now want to write a fan fiction about you so that I could share it on the podcast, but I have absolutely no time until after next week.
Well, okay. So I think that we should go on hiatus after this episode releases.
Mm-hmm.
Our first episode should be released in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this episode's on the 22nd, so that's only a week.
Yeah, but I'm saying like instead of the first week of January, maybe we off center.
Sure, yeah, we'll think about it. But the problem is that I want to do it now because now I'm excited about it.
I know. I'm excited about it too. I will definitely be thinking about your fan fiction.
I mean, I've already written a fan fiction with you in it.
I know you have. A very long one.
It's okay. I looked at it the other day because I was bugging Judy, and okay, I'm just gonna tell our listeners about this now. Again, off topic. I have been writing Avatar: The Last Airbender fan fiction about me, Judy, and Bailey pretty much since my first year of university, 13 something years ago. I reread it a couple years ago, and it was absolutely terrible. But I liked the story content. So then I decided for Judy for Christmas one year I was going to rewrite it and then give it to her. So I've been in the process of rewriting it. I've been promising it to her now for like 3 years. It hasn't happened. I'm about 5 chapters away from finishing book 1. I was bugging her on the phone like 2 days ago actually about this and how I should finish it for her Christmas gift because I'm terrible at finishing Christmas gifts. And she says, "No, you got other things to do." I'm like, "I'm gonna get it done." It is 210 pages long, and I still have 5 chapters, and I have to edit, I think, 6 more chapters. There's 2 I had to add that I hadn't written yet at all, and then multiple that I needed to edit. I now have timelines for that story going back almost 500 years. And I've started writing books 2, 3, 4. Book 2 is 600 pages long. I am now cutting it into 2 or 3 books because it was only my storyline and did not involve anybody else. I was really, really mean to myself. I think I've gone through some things. I made myself end up with the villain who is very murderous, and I did have to tone him down in book 1 so that it made sense in book 2 for him to become a good guy suddenly. Because, like, he doesn't become, like, a full good guy, but he's a much more complex character. But originally he was just a psycho, and it just didn't work. And now I've had to add other people because some people have started relationships, and a certain somebody decided to get married. So now I have to add her husband into the book. And a lot has changed since high school, which is when the book takes place. And I think between books 1 and 2, I'm going to do a time skip of maybe 10 years to make it make more sense, and then another 10 years. But I'm trying to write that on top of writing my dissertation and abstracts for conferences and papers. I do a lot of writing, but I do want to get it done. And maybe when I get it done, I will read it on the podcast.
Maybe we can put a docu link on the podcast once you get it done so people can read it for themselves.
Yeah, well, I think it'd be kind of fun if you, me, and Judy got together and like read out our parts of it, and then like one of us does the narration, and then we can pick like who does the other characters.
Yes. This is a foray into voice acting, and I'm here for it.
See, it could be fun. Like you can play my romance option,
Hello.
and then I can play your romance option. Well, actually, I'm giving you multiple romance options. One of them ends up. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it, but you know how they end up.
I'm a whore.
Yeah, he really got you out there. But I think it could be funny.
Oh, it totally would be. I'd be down for that. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, let's do script writing next. We'll just write scripts for each other.
And we'll perform them for you.
Oh, yeah, there you go. We could get like different hats, and every time we're a different character, we'd put on the different hat.
I can become Sazy Days again.
Oh no, you are not allowed to become Stacey Days ever again.
It's a high school thing we had to do. It was hilarious. But with that trauma, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, year one.
Year one, woohoo! We're done.
Some insightful thoughts of what we might do in the future. We might not do any of the things we talked about.
Who knows? But thank you guys so much for coming along the ride for our YouTube channel. I know it hasn't been a year on YouTube yet, but it has been a year on the podcast. So if you're watching and you haven't checked that out, check that out. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, all the major.
Everything.
Yeah, we're on everything basically for the podcast. And it's the whole shebang. So let's wrap it up. I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas, New Year's, holidays, whichever you celebrate. And we shall see you in 2026.
Thanks for
Listening. Cheers.
That's all for today. Catch us on Instagram, where we drop teasers for the next show, and our Discord account. Links are down below.